4 deaths, 1 family. Victims' mother said they weren't accidents, but caused by supernatural powers.
Psychotype है lady.
This was said to be the last video of Ishika and Shubham.
मैं लड़कियों को टारगेट करती थी।
लड़कियों करती है।
All the deaths happened on Ekadashi. She believed the children were more attractive than her.
इसको चिढ़ उठती है सुंदर बच्ची से।
Nolta, a village about 15 kilometers from Panipat in Haryana. In one corner of the village, a wedding celebration was taking place. Children were dressed up, smiling for photos, and the house was buzzing with festivity. As part of a village custom, family members and neighbors walked the barat to the bus, singing songs and celebrating as they sent the groom's party off. Amid the celebrations, 6-year-old Vidhi's parents began looking for her, but she was nowhere to be found. Concerned, they informed other family members and soon everyone began searching for Vidhi. When Vidhi's grandmother went upstairs, she noticed the storeroom on the first floor was locked. When the door was opened, the sight inside left everyone devastated. Vidhi was found lying in a plastic tub, her head submerged in water. Everyone was taken aback. But what's bizarre was that this wasn't the first child in the family to die under such mysterious circumstances. The first deaths in the family occurred on a quiet morning in Sonipat's Bhavar village. 3-year-old Shubham and 9-year-old Ishika were running through the house, laughing and playing. Their giggles echoed as they moved from one room to another. Then suddenly, the house fell quiet. The children were nowhere to be seen. Shubham's mother Poonam went to Ishika's mother in panic, asking if she had seen them. She was told that children had been playing somewhere. The search began immediately. Rooms were checked, voices called out until someone noticed the water reservoir. Its lid was open. A piece of cloth floated on the surface. When it was pulled out, both children were found inside, drowned. There were tears, confusion, and overwhelming grief, but no suspicion of anything sinister. The family lost 2 of their children on the same day. They believed they must have slipped while playing and considered it an unfortunate tragedy. Ishika's mother said, "We blamed ourselves for being careless." Shubham's father Naveen said the family wanted an autopsy, but his mother Poonam opposed it, saying she could not bear to see her child being cut up. No one thought it was something unusual, as in most cases, mothers refused to autopsy the child. So no postmortem happened, no police complaint was filed, and no investigation took place. This was said to be the last video of Ishika and her cousin Shubham having fun. It was filmed by Shubham's mother, Poonam. After the deaths, Naveen said Poonam's behavior changed dramatically. He said she was traumatized by the deaths. She fainted repeatedly, cried uncontrollably, and began acting in ways that Naveen thought she might end up in depression. Convinced she needed help, Naveen took her to doctor for medical treatment, he said. Soon after, strange incidents began to unfold at home. Curtains caught fire, clothes burnt. Even a small temple room inside the house was damaged by unexplained fires, often when Naveen stepped out for work. On one occasion, Poonam herself reportedly set her own clothes on fire. She began claiming that the children's death were not accidents, but the result of occult forces, meaning practices involving supernatural powers. Naveen said she behaved as if someone else was inside her for months. Over time, however, things appeared to settle. Life slowly returned to routine. In 2024, Poonam gave birth to a second son, and the family believed she had finally recovered. Months passed, the family tried to heal, but little did they know that the nightmare was far from over. Another child in the family, 6-year-old Jia, who was playing near her relative's home in Siva village, was found drowned in water. Over time, the family and neighbors convinced themselves that the deaths were nothing more than the family's misfortune. No one suspected any foul play, not yet. But all the incidents followed a chillingly similar pattern. All the children were very young, all were found drowned, and all the deaths happened inside homes. There were no screams, no blood, and no post-mortem. It was not even a typical crime scene. Fast forward to December 2025, when 6-year-old Vidhi's body was found. This time, the family grew suspicious when they found the storeroom door locked from the outside. The family informed the police and the investigation began.
एक टब में बच्ची 6 साल की बच्ची डूब के नहीं मर सकती और कमरा ही बाहर से बंद था, तो बाहर से अगर कमरा बंद था तो बच्ची अंदर वो टब कैसे गया, तो उसी से पता लगा था कि ये हत्या है.
Now, as investigators began interviewing people at the wedding, inconsistencies in one person's story started to stand out. Poonam's. the mother of one of the victims, Shubham. But the question was, why would a mother who had also lost a child do something like this?
वो वहाँ की कई चीजें हमने देखी, वीडियो फुटेज भी देखी, जो बारात में लोग बनाते हैं, लोग सब चले गए थे। ये बारात के साथ भी नहीं गई। जो गांव बारात में प्रथा होती है, वे बारात को ना बस में गीत गा के और बस में चढ़ाने के लिए जाते हैं। ये वहाँ गांव में पीछे ही रहेगी, उसमें उस रस्म में भी ये शामिल नहीं हुई, पीछे रह गई थी।
So according to Haryana police, Poonam confessed during questioning. Poonam said that during the wedding celebrations, she saw Vidhi going upstairs and followed her to the terrace. She then lured the child inside the storeroom, brought a plastic tub filled with water and drowned Vidhi by forcing her head into the water. After that, she locked the door from the outside in a hurry and came downstairs acting as if nothing happened. Now what followed was even more disturbing. She acknowledged killing 3 other children within the family. Her sister-in-law's daughter Ishika, her own son Shubham and a cousin's daughter Jia. But why did she do that? The reason was so disturbing that even the investigators were left stunned. Police said she had deliberately drowned the 3 girls simply because she believed they were more attractive than her.
लेकिन इसको चिढ़ उठती है सुंदर बच्ची से कि सुंदर बच्ची को देखते इसको चिढ़ मचती है, या कोई बड़ी हो के मेरे सुंदर ना बन जाए, इस तरह की बात इसके दिमाग में।
Then what about her son Shubham?
वो तो छुपाने के लिए मैं कभी पकड़ी न जाऊं, और डेस्परेशन में अपने बेटे को भी इसने पानी में डुबो दिया, उस टाइम में कभी पकड़ी न जाऊं।
The arrest of Poonam sent shockwaves through Panipat and beyond. Neighbors, friends and extended family struggled to reconcile the image of the woman they knew with the reality of her confessed crimes. One of the victims, Jia's parents, revealed that just a day before she was killed, she had asked Poonam to take her for a walk and insisted that her aunt stay over and sleep in her bed. Another victim, Ishika's parents said, to learn that my daughter was killed by Poonam, the person she loved, trusted and begged to visit, is something impossible to process. Poonam's husband Naveen said when she behaved as if something else had taken over her body, it didn't make any sense. Now I know it was only to hide the murders.
बाहर किसी में नहीं की, पारिवारिक में जहाँ किसी फंक्शन में जाती है, किसी को देख लेती है, इसके जो भी दिमाग में उठती है, तो इस तरह की हरकत इसने 3 बार की है, तीसरी बार ये पकड़ी गई।
Now looking back at Poonam's childhood home, the room she lived in and the surroundings she grew up in, there were no tell signs that she might one day turn violent or go on to kill 4 children. And this was the space where she got ready every day. Relatives said her room never had a dressing table. Poonam's brother described her as someone who never cared much for jewelry or dressing up. She was simple and sober, he said. A family member recalled that even in her teenage years, she showed very little inclination for fashion. Her neighbors said she was soft-spoken and kept conversation short. Poonam had completed her postgraduate degree in political science from Kurukshetra University. She was 26 when she got married in 2019 to Naveen and moved to Sonipat's Bhavar. Now, even after marriage, she continued her studies, earning a Bachelor of Education degree. A neighbor who owns a beauty parlor said Poonam rarely even came by as a customer. She would sometimes stop only for a brief chat. Kajal and bindi were the only things she ever used. And that's why no one could ever imagine that Poonam would commit such crimes. Now, after the news of Poonam's arrest began to make headlines, relatives of one of the victims alleged an occult or tantric connection, pointing out that murders took place on Ekadashi, a day they considered spiritually significant. They claimed that Poonam's behavior and the timing of the death was suspicious. But police ruled out this angle, saying she was smart enough not to do so.
जो ये पूछा करते हैं उसके एंगल से उन्होंने पूछताछ कर ली है, ऐसी कोई बात नहीं आई है। ऐसा नहीं है, स्मार्ट है, बहुत समझदार है, और लेकिन इसको चिढ़ उठती है सुंदर बच्ची से।
There were multiple FIRs registered, one for each of the child's deaths, now being treated as murders rather than accidents. Poonam was presented before a court in Panipat, after which she was sent to judicial custody. Further investigations were underway at the time of publishing this report, including psychological evaluations. Families affected by the tragedy are still struggling to process their loss, left with the same haunting questions. Why and how could something so devastating happen within their own family, right under their noses?
बस है, साइको टाइप है लेडी।
Over 1,77,000 cases of crime against children were reported in 2023, out of which over 1,200 cases were murder, affecting over 1,380 victims. While the NCRB shows family members are involved in some crimes against children, it does not publish a national figure specifically showing how many children were murdered by their own parents. But there have been such instances. For example, Suchna Seth from West Bengal, who was an AI ethics expert, allegedly killed her 4-year-old son in a hotel room and then fled with the child's body stuffed in a bag. Police said she was unhappy with her ongoing divorce. Now, such cases bring attention to a word some people could have never heard before: filicide. For example, in Poonam's case, not only did she kill 3 of her relatives' children, but also her own son. And when a parent intentionally kills their own child, psychology and criminology calls it filicide. Research into filicide shows that these cases are often linked to what's happening inside a person's mind: deep mental distress, jealousy, or twisted ways of thinking. In Poonam's case, police and family members spoke about her mental health struggles and her obsession with beauty, especially the fear that certain children might grow up to be more beautiful than her. These weren't random acts. They were driven by thoughts that kept returning to her again and again. Experts also explain that filicide doesn't look the same way in every case. Sometimes a parent believes they are protecting the child. Sometimes the act happens during severe mental illness or delusion. In other cases, the child is seen as a burden, or the act is used to hurt someone else in the family. Honor killing too becomes filicide only when a parent kills their own child in the name of honor. So let me know what you think about this story, and let me know which story or topic you want me to dive into next. This is Vaishnavi signing off.